you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad.
Hi everyone, Anthony here with Ace's Adventures, and happy belated Easter to you all. What you are looking at now is the Walden Galleria Mall in Buffalo, New York, more specifically Cheektowaga, New York. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I'm going to release this video on a Tuesday. Normally I do Friday uploads, but wanted to do something, took Easter off, took a little break from producing and whatnot. And I want to apologize to that security guard who was the unfortunate victim of a little bit just having some fun, you know. So I did this a year ago. The Walden Galleria Mall is actually closed on Easter Sunday, but like a handful of the restaurants stay open and the movie theater is open. So it's a really unique dynamic, and I enjoy coming in here and just enjoying the peaceful ambiance of the mall, because this mall, if you are from this area or have been to this mall, you know that typically it is very packed on almost a daily basis. So I'm just going to chat with you for a minute, a little bit about the mall, not delve too deeply into the history, but this is our local super/mega mall, if you will. And it's been around since the early 90s, and I believe was a pyramid mall. Was not too exactly sure, but it has several sister Galleria malls, as my good buddy Jack Thomas from deadmalls.com can surely elaborate on. And this mall it killed off a couple other local malls when it opened, and is kind of has a stranglehold on a couple of the other local malls that are in existence now, such as the Eastern Hills Mall, the McKinley Mall, and the Boulevard Mall. So there are 4 malls total in Buffalo, and personally I don't feel that Buffalo is big enough to be able to hold that many malls, but here we sit with 4 malls, and this one doing by far the best. There at any given time is usually no more than 1 to 2 vacancies in this mall, and they're usually filled very rapidly. Kind of a funny thing, if you're from this area and you know, there is a place in the food court just to the left of the Arby's, and I think that in the 5 years that I've lived in this area, there has been like 10 different restaurants that have gone into that food court spot. So for whatever reason, that spot's kind of cursed and can't seem to hold a tenant. But so this mall is actually going through a unique transformation, and not necessarily one for the greater good. So this is a touchy subject, but it's something that needs to be talked about. So as of late, the past few years, and more so in the last year, this mall has begun to suffer from a bit of an image problem. And while it is still very busy and whatnot, it's going to be interesting to put this place on watch to see what happens to it. Even though it looks very successful and is a beautiful mall and draws a lot of traffic, especially from Canada, given that it's only a 20-25 minute drive from the border. But the problem of crime and some of the inner city kids and stuff coming in here and causing problems and stuff, even so to the point where they have this group called the Buffalo Peacemakers, which is kind of like a group that patrols the inner cities and the east side and different areas of the urban areas of Buffalo, and you know, it's just trying to keep some peace. There's some very violent sections of Buffalo, and unfortunately some of that violence has manifested itself in the mall. A couple months ago, there was a viral video of some alleged gang activity going on in the mall with a very large crowd. To what extent that was you know exaggerated remains to be seen, but there was definitely a big fight, and it made national news. And you are slowly, in my opinion, starting to see a little bit of a change in the types of shops you see in here, and just you're starting to see the traffic just dwindle a little bit, and just it's kind of a different atmosphere in this mall. And I hope that that's corrected, and they kind of put a leash on some of the crime and stuff, and make this place feel a little bit safer, as nice of an area as it is. So like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit different. Just kind of give you another little walkthrough of this property. You're seeing right there, that was a Johnny Rockets that was in one spot and then closed, and a couple years later came back as a Johnny Rockets Burger Factory, and then changed back to a Johnny Rockets and then subsequently closed. I think it's because it had a poor location. It was in the corner of the mall by the racetrack there, so anything on that end, food-wise, tends to not do so well, although there is a place called World of Beer that is actually doing okay. So One more interesting thing to mention too is the fact that this mall is really close to the airport, number one, and number two is the mall is built on a silt material, and every year is sinking into the ground by like a centimeter. So it's very, very, very slowly sinking into the ground. And like I said, it'll take a long, long, long time for that to make any kind of a difference, but just an interesting piece of this property. As we approach May and the summer months here, I've been kind of light this month with not so much videos per se. I've still been pumping some stuff out, but been kind of light with my social media interaction. Been kind of quiet, just been busy with my job and whatnot. And really planning what the next move is for the channel. It's going to honestly become more difficult to continue up at the weekly pace like I have been doing, but I'm going to try my damnedest to do that for you. As locations get further and further away, it can become difficult and more expensive, of course, to get to these places. So the channel's not going anywhere. If content does slow down just a tad, that would be why. I just can't afford to go to these places, you know, that are far, far away that much. But I'm going to try to keep going as much as possible. And I live in the Northeast, so like I said, fortunately there are a plethora of places available to still see that are changing and whatnot. And I do update videos on different places like the Shopping Town Mall and whatnot. So keep an eye out for more content coming soon here at Aces Adventures. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and Twitter at Aces Adventures 1. If you want the channel to continue and you want to be a reason why the channel grows, even though I harp on this enough, even as little as $1 a month really helps me, because all of that money goes back into filming and flights and whatnot. You can help out at patreon.com/acesadventures. Once again, 100% of those proceeds go directly into flights and whatnot. For example, they're paying for a flight to Texas this summer. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video, and we'll be back soon with more content right here at Aces Adventures.
Something more cuddly, yeah. Bigger. Friendlier, maybe. Thank you. Not quite what we had in mind, yes.
Everyone wants to be the Cadbury Bunny, because only he brings Cadbury cream eggs with their delicious milk chocolate outside and creamy filling. While others may keep trying, there's only one Cadbury Bunny, and nobody knows Easter better than him.